Hey, welcome back. In our last explainer, we dove into the quiet courage of spring, right? We met Little Bit Storp and explored that small, curious yes. It was all about learning to just look, listen, and notice. But seasons change, and so do we. So let's see what happens when the world warms up.
Remember this? This was pretty much the heart of spring's whole lesson. It wasn't about some grand adventure. Nope. It was about the simple but really profound courage to just begin, to step outside with nothing more than a pocket full of presents and that one little word, yes. But summer's coming.
And with that new season comes a whole new self. The quiet, observant little bee from spring kind of morphs into the vibrant, active energy of summer's big bee. That cool morning world, it's replaced by a warm, humming one. And the main rule, to just notice things, is totally challenged by this bright, energetic drive to do something. So, summer's journey, this first big roll, it doesn't even begin with the eyes. It starts with a new pair of ears. And this isn't just, a sensory upgrade. It's a massive shift in how the world is even experienced. We're moving from just watching to having the courage to actually participate. I mean, check this out. These new ears aren't just sitting there receiving sound. They're practically performers. They unfurl like soft aurora petals, they perk, cant, and flatten, as if they're literally in a conversation with the world. Listening stops being this passive thing we do. It becomes a visible, physical action. And you guys, this changes everything. With these new ears and with the architect's calm presence, sounds aren't just data anymore. They arrive drenched in feeling. So the rattle of a skateboard on the sidewalk, it isn't just noise. Because the architect grins when they hear it, Big B experiences that sound as golden. It's like shared joy is literally coloring reality. And at the very same time, this other kind of wisdom starts to bubble up. The wheelchair, it's not just a machine, it's a companion, a body sibling. When it kind of shies away from a steep curb or a bumpy bit of pavement, that's not a limitation. It's this quiet refusal, a gentle, not that way. And it's teaching Big B a huge lesson, that sometimes boundaries are a form of kindness. But, and there's always a but, isn't there? This incredibly vibrant, feeling-drenched world comes with a brand new challenge. The warmth and energy of summer create this buoyant, almost compulsive drive to be a part of everything. And this is the point where joy can actually become, well, overwhelming. So this is the central question for summer's whole journey. As Big B rolls into this bustling park, it's just a symphony of life everywhere. But what happens when your desire to join that symphony turns into a compulsion to conduct every single instrument yourself? You see a teenager doing cartwheels, and there's this immediate, overwhelming urge to jump in to help them find their balance. Then you hear a busker playing a song, and the impulse is to reach out and just fix that one string that's a tiny bit flat. You see a kid chasing bubbles, and suddenly you have this deep desire to control the air currents, just to catch one bubble perfectly. Every single moment becomes this itch, this need to add something, to steer, to share. And you can totally see why this urge is so powerful, right? The park is an explosion of sensations. Kites are stitching angles in the blue, bubbles look like fizzing planets, and the air is just thick with that sweet smell of kettle corn. Every detail is so alive, it's basically screaming for you to interact with it. And then the sun just gets to be too much. The heat forces a change. Big B and the architect pull back into the shade, and this simple little act of retreat becomes the major turning point of the day. It leads to this really profound realization. And this is it. This is the aha moment. In the cool of the shade, a paradox just clicks into place. The potential to act, to do all those things, it's immense. But the real wisdom is in recognizing that sometimes resting, doing nothing at all, is actually the better, more powerful choice. Now, what's really crucial here is that the desire to act, it doesn't just disappear, it transforms. The energy shifts from being this bright, quick flare into something more like a banked coal, just holding its heat. The impulse goes from being a surface ripple to a deep reservoir of patient potential. The energy is all still there, it's just stored. So from the shade, they just watch the world keep on going, beautifully, on its own. A frisbee gets caught, a cup is picked up, a bubble pops, and a kid laughs, all without them doing a thing. And in that moment of observation, the lesson sinks in. Choosing not to act, to conserve that energy, is its own kind of creative force. Okay, so with this new wisdom in hand, Big B is finally ready to learn the last lesson of the day. A totally different, much more subtle way of interacting with the world. A new kind of touch. So as they're leaving the park, they see someone just sitting alone, and you can just feel their energy is low. Big B's ears lift up instinctively, and this soft, questioning, just slips out. It's an act, it's a touch, but it's different. And the architect, they just frame it perfectly. Curiosity isn't a push, it's a door. You don't pull someone through. You just open a little moment that they can choose to step into. The whole journey just reveals this huge shift. The old urge was all about steering, pushing, controlling, fixing things for other people. The new wisdom is what's called the kindness of presence. It's about offering a moment, opening a door, and just witnessing something with someone. It's a massive shift from imposing your will to just inviting connection. And really, this is the ultimate conclusion of summer's big journey. Sustainable joy isn't some wildfire of constant action. It's a fire you actually have to tend to. And the act of doing something becomes sweetest, most meaningful, when it's balanced by the wisdom of knowing when not to. So what's learned in summer isn't a list of rules. It's this constellation of feelings, a pattern of rhythm. It's made of kite angles and the blue-green note of a glass bottle. It's the feeling of that reservoir in the shade and the kind wisdom of the chair. It's a rhythm where the heat hums and the ears smile, all learned right in the body. So summer was all about the courage to act and then the wisdom to hold back. But after the heat of action, that's when understanding comes. I hope you'll join us next time as we transition into autumn and explore how little Bus learns to see the world's underlying structure in the pattern of leaves.